Welcome all of you once again to this digital marketing upgraded session. Upgraded because it was a session earlier as well, but we have put in a few more things because, see, as you know, in this field of digital marketing, there's a whole lot of changes happening and at a very rapid pace. So we need to make sure that the content is upgraded and is up with the times. So before I begin the session, I just want you to walk, because it's a first session, so I must walk you through the Edureka platform because I believe it will be your first time on this platform. So as you can see my screen, this is the course that you have signed up for, Digital Marketing Upgraded, and on this excuse me, and on this screen you can see there are different sections. So one is getting started. So herein you can see about how the entire Edureka system works, how the different courses work. Then you will have, for example, if for some reason you are not able to attend any session, or you have missed any session for any other urgent work, or you have to go out or something, so you don't have to worry because all the recorded sessions will be placed here. So for all the sessions, we'll have it available here. Also, the entire course content, every module, as you can see, module 1, which we'll be covering today, as far as the other level modules are available here. Along with that, you have quizzes and assignments for every module. So, which again, it's important that you go through the quizzes and assignments after every session so that you are up to date with what we have discussed in one session and you apply those things well. So this is how you use the content. And this content will be available to you for the lifetime. So basically, even if later, let's say after 1 year, you just want to go through some of the content, you just need to understand few bits of it in maybe sometime down the line. Then also you can just log into your Edureka with your login credentials. You can log into the website, and you can just go through the content, and the most upgraded content will be available to you. So that is one another advantage of Edureka as a platform, and I must say it's a world-class platform actually. Apart from that, if you have any issues, like if let's say your connection is not working, or if let's say you want to get in touch with me, you have any questions post the class, or even after the course has ended, then you can use this support button here, and you can post your question, and Edureka's team support the students 24/7. So you can give a call to the Edureka helpline, or you can just put your request on this support. You can just select your course and you can select the category. Just put your question here, and it will be referred to very promptly. So these kind of things are there, and you can also explore this after the session as well. How suitable you find it. So let's start. Just a word about this particular course that we have designed for you. So again, as I said, it's a 12 module course. So we'll be covering it in 6 sessions starting today. So that will be basically 2 sessions per week, Saturday, Sunday. And one session will typically be of 2.5 hours duration. It can be plus minus 10-15 minutes depending upon, again, the session depends upon the engagement of the attendees more than the instructor, I must say. So the way we have designed it is that the first session we'll be taking, it will be more about an introduction to digital marketing, just give you an overview of what are the different fruits which are available there in this basket of digital marketing. Then we'll continue to more specific stuff, like we'll talk about SEO, which is called search engine optimization, and we'll talk about it more in detail as we proceed. So one session we have dedicated to how to plan your keywords. One session we have on-page and off-page SEO. Then we'll move on to the more interesting and more, more glamorous stuff for digital marketing, which is social media marketing. So we have dedicated 2 sessions for social media marketing. And then search engine marketing, typically Google AdWords. So we have one session for Google AdWords, which some of you I'm sure will might question that it's very little for a big area as Google AdWords. But again, we'll try to cover the most important things in Google AdWords so that you have a fair bit of understanding. I'm not saying that after this session you will become masters of Google AdWords, but yes, you will start understanding what AdWords is and how you can use it for your advantage in your business, in your life, in your in your careers. And one module we have for email marketing, and it's a very critical module, I must say, and very well ignored by marketeers, but one which is very critical for most businesses. Then we will discuss about affiliate marketing and the nitty-gritties of it. We have also dedicated one session for just the basic understanding of Google Analytics. While we have 2 closing sessions, that is last week of our this program, which are dedicated to understanding Google Analytics with a little more deep insights. Because see, Google Analytics is something you need not be a digital marketer to know Google Analytics, because even if you are a product manager, even if you are a salesperson, or if you are into general brand marketing or any kind of business in your company, Google Analytics is something which helps you understand more about your business, more about your consumer, what they are doing, what they are preferring. So those kind of trends you get to know from Google Analytics. So we felt that it's important that a sufficient amount of time is devoted for Google Analytics in this session. So we'll discuss more about every session. I mean, we'll have a detailed presentation for every session. So let's begin with module 1. And also, there are no, I mean, in this session, please feel free to raise your questions, any queries you have in the middle of the session. So you can just post your questions in the questions panel. After every 20-25 minutes, I'll take a break and I'll go through those questions. And please don't hesitate to ask anything. I'll answer any question to the best of my abilities. And even if I'm not aware about something or something you asked which I'm not sure about it, I'll make sure that your query get answered latest by the next session. So please feel free to join in the discussion. And also, I'll whatever topics that we'll be covering, I'll try to take them from very basic level. So if you feel that I'm maybe going too fast, or maybe I should not stress too much importance on one particular subject because maybe you have a better understanding of it, then you can please let me know about it. It shouldn't be an issue at all, and we can prioritize things which most of our attendees think are important. So those kind of things, we are pretty flexible on it. So again, as I said, we have designed a course, but again, it's important that the attendees get to relate more with the course. So so in any way you feel comfortable, we'll be able to mold the course, a particular session in that way, right? Yeah, so let's get started with our first session. So our first session is entirely dedicated to knowing digital marketing, so that everybody is familiar with the key things about digital marketing, so that when we proceed into the next sessions, you have an understanding about what are the different things which are key to digital marketing, what exactly it means, and why exactly it is important. So that is another thing that is very important to know. Yeah, so I just explained to you about how Edureka works, that Edureka ties up with instructors who are experienced, who have been in this training business, in this training kind of duties over a period of time. And then we have live online classes, and again we have in-class questions. We promote, we encourage people asking in-class questions. Apart from that, one thing which I forgot is that survey feedback. So at the end of every session, you will receive a survey. That survey is very important to us, because your feedback, what you thought about the session, about the instructor, about the content, goes a long way in helping us improving the sessions even further. So we have a 24/7 support. You will get your class recordings in your learning management system, which is your Edureka platform. You can go to your Edureka website and you can access those. Module-wise assessment, yes, we have talked about it. Project work, there will be a project at the end of the entire session. verifiable certificate. Yes, you will get a certificate of completion of this course when all the sessions are over and you have submitted your project work. And we are also available on Android and iOS apps, so you can also access your course content through your mobile phones as per your convenience as well. Simple things to join the class: you can log in using the credentials that have been provided. You can just click on your My Course tab and you can just see when your next class is starting, and accordingly you can join the class. This we have spoken about already. What are the topics we are intending to cover in this particular course? Yeah, so getting down to this particular session that we have assembled for, there are 3 key objectives that I'm trying to achieve from this particular session. That is the need for digital marketing. So now you have signed up for digital marketing. I'm sure you had something in mind. You told me about what you were doing, what you were expecting from this session. So you also need to understand why digital marketing is important. What is digital marketing and what difference it can make to any business or your career in that perspective. And again, the basic elements of digital marketing: what constitutes digital marketing, what are the key things in this. So we'll touch upon all those things as well. Also, we'll get to know a bit about how do you assess your consumer, how do you define your consumer, and more importantly, how you can set and execute a digital marketing plan. So how you can go about creating your own plan. So, and how you can maybe work towards creating your plan, how you can put building blocks in your digital marketing strategy. So those kind of things we'll be discussing at length in this session. Anybody has any questions so far about Edureka, about me, about the entire course that we are about to start? You can just feel free to voice over. Yeah, so I understand there are not much questions at the moment, obviously because we haven't discussed much yet. I'm sure you are through with all these things which Edureka offers. So next is about, so why digital marketing? I mean, if I have to answer this question for a larger set of people who are in the industry, even as students or who are getting into the industry, so why this digital marketing course or any digital marketing course or the knowledge of digital marketing, why does it matter? So see, again, it's a business of where your consumer is. And I'm sure you understand, especially some of you are from the e-commerce industry. So you will understand that it's not about doing something which everybody is doing. So digital marketing is not about that. Digital marketing is basically catering to your users. And you will see, in terms of data, you will see that over a period of time, the consumer behavior has shifted from television viewing to spending more time on their other devices, be it your laptops, your desktops, your mobile phones, your tablets. So the consumer behavior has shifted. So as a marketeer or as a person who is trying to reach out to users, in simple words, if I put it, that you sell something, you provide some product or some service to users, and you are just trying to reach out to users. So what you will do, you will try to find out users at a platform where they are spending their time on. So earlier, when people were spending more time on, let's say, television, so television media was the only effective media present, and then there were different other smaller mediums like radio. There were the mediums like print. So those kind of mediums were important. But now a new medium has come in, which is primarily because there are people. So you are chasing eyeballs, as I put it. So because today eyeballs are online, people are spending their time online. So as a marketer, it's your duty. I mean, it's your bread and butter that you basically try to reach out to that user. It's as simple as that. We have a few questions. So I have a question from Siddhant Gupta, which says, would I be able to market my sites and app after this course? Surely, Siddhant, I'm sure you will get enough learning after this course, enough insights from this course that you'll be able to set up a platform where you can create an effective marketing plan for yourself, and you'll be able to use this content to create effective marketing plans for the entire marketing sites. As you said, that you have different sites and you have an app as well. I think that's great. So you can, I'm sure you will be able to do that. Next question is from Vishnu. So yeah, Vishnu, I'm sure I'll surely again repeat my intro. I just did it at the start of the session, but again I'll do that once again. So I currently work in PolicyBazaar as a product and business head for E2E platforms. Prior to PolicyBazaar, I was working in Google, and in Google I was working as a product specialist for over 4 years, and I have been involved in digital marketing for over a long period of time. And as far as my training credentials are concerned, I've been into this trainings for over 3 years now, and I take online trainings with different platforms, as well as I do classroom sessions as well in different institutes and corporate sessions as well. I hope it helps. Yeah, so moving on, we were discussing about the importance of digital marketing and the viability of digital marketing and how it is important for the marketeers and in general people involved in different businesses. So as I was saying that it's about chasing eyeballs, it's about going to the people, going to the platforms where people are. It's again, in a very layman term, or in a very easy to understand terms, it's as simple as that. So you are just reaching out to people who are there. And because this platforms, this area of digital marketing has its own unique advantage, and it offers something unique to digital marketing channels, it has enabled many businesses to have it as their only sales channel. So there are many businesses which are thriving in this world, which don't use traditional media at all, and their entire revenue, their entire business model is focused on spending money, spending resources, and building their brand online only. So this is one unique thing that is there with this medium, which is not available, which was not there earlier with the traditional mediums we have. And again, so during the course of this session, I will try and touch upon that how few things remain similar. So again, it's a different channel. It has its own advantages. It has its own channels, challenges. It has its own way of functioning. But there are certain things which remain common, which remain similar to how business work. So again, how does a business work? You offer a product or a service, you create, you put your effort into it, and then you want your product and service to reach out to maximum users. That is how any business works, right? This is as simple as that. But the way of talking to the consumers change. How you talk to the user, how you engage with the user compared to what you used to do earlier, this has changed, right? And you need to understand that every business has its own challenges, and every business, you cannot just copy other businesses even in your segment or in different segments in doing what they are doing in terms of the marketing efforts. You need to understand your own strength, your own weaknesses, and then you need to leverage a channel, be it a digital channel or be it any other channel. So that is again one thing that you need to think as an owner of a business, or if you are a brand guy, or even if you are a sales guy. So these kind of things you need to understand before you proceed with any channel, right? So just I'll touch upon some common terminology. So and we'll again discuss this in even bigger detail. But if you have any question, you can let me know in the middle of it as well. So one is inbound marketing. So inbound marketing is something that the traffic that you receive on your website or any of your content. So that is inbound marketing. So for example, let's say you make shoes. You are a shoe company, let's say Nike. So Nike must be getting a lot of traffic from Google. So if I, as a consumer, if I search that I want to buy Nike shoes, and based on that search, I get a lot of results on the Google page, and some will be paid results and some will be organic results. And I will also talk about what is a paid and what is an organic result. So if I as a user click on the Nike website, So that is the traffic which I am getting from Google. So that is an inbound marketing. So that is, I am doing something right as a company, that my results are showing up on Google, and because of that I am getting traffic from Google. So that's users coming from Google to me, to my website. Next is outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is anything which you pay money for. So basically, as I spoke about paid search and organic search. So on Google, you will see, if you make any search, you will see at the max three results at the top. And then you will see further down around 8 to 10 results for your query, for your search query that you have put in. So those first top 2-3 trends are paid results. So basically somebody has actually paid money to put those results up there. And there's a whole set of process of how to do that. I mean, how to put those ads up there. So there is a search, because Google is a search engine, so they have their own process of doing that, and we'll touch base upon it when we discuss about Google AdWords. But the top 3 results are the paid ones, and the next ones are the organic ones. So whatever traffic, let's say, you get from the paid results, if you have paid money to put your ad up there, if Nike has paid money to put their ad up there, so that forms the basis of outbound marketing. And again, I have already explained the organic traffic and a paid traffic bit. But again, these are not very simple concepts to understand in the first go, and I'll touch base upon them repeatedly in my further conversations as well. Next is engagement. So engagement is a term which is very frequently used in the online world, especially in the more connected world, as you say. And you must have heard about brands trying to get social media engagements, trying to engage more with users on Twitter, on Facebook. So that particularly means that you are, as a brand, you are trying to have a conversation with the users. You are trying to do something that channelizes users' energy towards talking to you, towards maybe, and it can be anything. It can be a competition, let's say an online competition which the company has launched, which users are, let's say, participating in. Or it can be, I mean, it can be multiple things that brands do these days, like engaging commercials, YouTube videos, those kind of things brands do to engage with their users, to keep them to have a deeper conversation with the user. I'm sure you would have heard of something called conversions. Conversions are nothing but something, it's a percentage of users that have visited your website and those who have actually converted. Converted means, let's say I am a website who is selling coupons, right? Coupons, discount coupons, something like a coupondunia.com or something like that. So what you do is, what I mean by conversion is, let's say in a day, 100 people visited my website through different sources. It can be inbound marketing, outbound marketing, anything. Let's say 100 people visited my website. Now out of those 100 people, 10 people actually purchased a coupon from my website. They actually paid money to buy a coupon from my website. So my conversion rate will be 10 by 100, 10%. So again, that's a very high conversion rate for any website, but just for an example, that is a conversion rate. And why this is important is because a higher the conversion rate, more the sales you are getting. So if you talk to any digital marketer, even in your company, the people who are working in digital marketing, you can ask them that, okay, what is the most important thing? What is your key metrics or KRA of your performance or of your campaign performance? Then the 90% of the people will answer conversions. So more the conversion, more the business for the company. It's as simple as that. And their entire marketing campaigns, be it on Google, be it on social media or any other platform, is mainly focused towards conversions. And it can be direct conversions or indirect conversions. So direct conversions are something which are targeted towards getting users to buy, like a Google paid campaign wherein you are actually putting in money because you want users to convert. there are indirect conversions which result in long-term engagement. So let's say you have, for example, just give me a second. Yeah. So for example, let's say you have launched a competition, as I mentioned about engagement. Let's say you launched a competition and 1,000 people participated in that competition. They tweeted at your Twitter handle. They put the game, they played out the game or whatever the competition is. And over a period of time, those 1,000 people who visited, out of that, let's say after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 50 of them converted. So those are indirect conversions. So those indirect conversions are basically built on a goodwill of your brand, how much time you have spent in the brand building and stuff. But generally, the direct conversion is something that you spend your money on. Next is funnel. So again, the funnel is also is a marketing word. It's not exactly a digital marketing word. So funnel is something. So we live in a funneled world. So let's say if you want to sell 50 of your products in a month, so what should you do? So let's talk about insurance business. Let's say my target is of selling 50 insurance policies in a month. Now to achieve that target, I cannot just reach out to 50 users and hope that all 50 of them will buy my policy. I have to widen my base. So maybe depending upon my experience with the business, I'll say, okay, for selling 50 policies, I will call or maybe I'll reach out to 500 users. So once I do that, I reach out to 500 users. Out of that 500 users, everybody will not be interested, right? So there will be a case that out of those 500, 100 will say no at the outset. They'll say, no, we are not interested. So the door is shut. Out of the remaining 400, let's say 100 more got interested. Maybe they just wanted to know more about the product. They'll say, okay, just let us know what exactly is there. So you'll have a conversation. You will try to convince them. You will make sure that the product is suited to their requirements, those kind of things. But finally, let's say they also say no after some time. And for the remaining ones, let's say 300, you have had good conversations. You have had decent amount of dialogues with them. They are convinced with the product. It suits their requirements. But again, all of them, let's say, don't convert. Let's say only 70 of them buy your product at the end, and rest 230 of them may be delayed for the next month or further few months. So in such scenarios, what happens is you have built your pipeline for the coming months, but you have achieved your target for the present month. So you cannot just rely on a small data set to achieve your target for the current month. So if you put all these users and you imagine it's a funnel, so here, and we'll talk about funnels in search funnels, basically the Google AdWords, search engine funnels and stuff. So those kind of things we'll talk about. But this is what basically a funnel means, and funnel applies to every business. I mean, if you sell something, there is a funnel attached to your business as well. Next is CTR or click-through rate. So next three definitions: CTR, CPA, and CPM. So these are very unique to digital marketing, and I will try and explain it in very simple terms so that you understand. And typically these are jargons that we use in digital marketing world. So we throw around these jargons like CTRs and CPAs and CPMs, and generally it's non-digital marketing people are generally a bit scared about it. But these are very simple things to understand. So what is the CTR? So click-through rate is something. Let's say I have put up an ad. I have put up an ad on Google. As I talk about, you get to see 3 ads on the top, and you have 8 ads at the 8 normal search results at the bottom. So let's say I have put up an ad. I have at Google, and in a day, and I ran the campaign for a day. So let's say the ad showed up 1,000 times in a day. 1,000 times showing up means that it is that somebody, when searched using a particular search term, the ad appeared. So the ad, somebody saw the ad. So let's say 1,000 times people saw the ad. It can be different people, it can be the same person. Now out of those 1,000 times the ad showed up, let's say only 50 times, let's say only 100 times out of those 1,000, somebody clicked on that ad. So what happens when you click on an ad is you are redirected to a different tab or a website or whatever that is associated with that ad. Basically a destination URL. So, so 100 people clicked on an ad. So what is your CTR? That your click-through rate becomes 100 divided by 1,000, that is 10%. So the number of clicks that you have received, and it can be on anything. I mean, I just gave you an example of Google, but it is the CTR definition remains the same whether you put your ad on Google or Facebook or even your emails or anything. It remains the same. So 100 people clicked on your ad. I mean, 100 times the ad was clicked. 1,000 times it appeared. So your CTR becomes 10%. And the success of your campaign in terms of how engaging your campaign is pretty much determined by the fact that how high is your CTR. And higher your CTR, higher are the chances of your conversions. So, and it's very obvious, it's a very logical thing. So more people visit on your website, better is the chance of your conversion, right? So let's say 1,000 people visit compared to 500, so you have a better number of, you will have a better conversion when 1,000 people visit your website. So you need to have a higher CTR to make sure that you have higher conversions. So it all leads to, ultimately all leads to sales. Next definition is CPA, that is cost per acquisition. So cost per acquisition is something, how much money that you have paid to acquire a customer. How do you calculate that? Again, I'll give you an example of Google because we are continuing with that example. So let's continue with that. Now, as I said, so in Google, you pay Google based on the number of clicks that you've achieved. So let's say you get, continuing with the same example, let's say you got 1,000 impressions, that is 1,000 times your ad appeared on Google, 100 clicks happened. So let's say you have an agreement with Google, you have committed that for every click you will pay $1 to Google. So that is, you are paying $100, for a day you have paid $100 to Google. And from that 100 clicks, let's say you have managed to convert, you have managed to sell 5 products. So out of those 100 people who visited your website after the click, 5 people actually made the purchase. So your cost of acquisition is per user is 5 divided by 100. So you spent $100. At the end of it, you got 5 users who actually purchased a product from your website. So you typically paid $20 per user. And how will you calculate your profitability? So now you will say that, okay, $20 I spent on one user, on getting one user, on selling my product to one user. So if your profitability from one product is more than $20, then you are profitable. So in simple terms, you can understand it like this. But again, it's not always black and white. For example, if today you have converted 5 users, maybe that 95 users who visited your website, maybe they will convert tomorrow. Maybe they didn't have the time to make the purchase today. Some of them may have to step out, didn't actually purchased it, or maybe made half the purchase, didn't have the credit card, or anything can happen. So maybe they can convert tomorrow. So it's an ongoing thing. You keep revising your cost per acquisition. You see, oh, so basically the big companies who run massive campaigns, something like a Pepsi or a Coke, or even current e-commerce giants in India like Flipkart and Snapdeal. So they don't calculate their CTRs and cost per acquisitions and all those things on a per day basis. So it's a long period of time that they keep assessing and maintaining those levels. Next definition is cost per thousand. So this is again a way of paying two different platforms. So as I said, there is a one way of paying is cost per click, which is when a user clicks on an ad on any platform, the advertiser pays money to the platform. That is one way of doing it. Another important way which is used by different marketeers is cost per thousand. So what they say is that we don't worry about the click. As soon as you pay, as soon as 1,000 impressions appear on your website, we'll pay you $5. So let's say if I'm a Pepsi and I have my ads showing up on Facebook, I'll say, okay, Facebook, I'll pay you $5 for every 1,000 impressions. And what is the difference between these? It is very important to understand what is the difference between these two methodologies. So the cost per click is specifically for that marketeer who is looking to sell a particular, I mean, selling is the more important thing for him because he wants the user to click. Click is the most important thing for him. That's why he'll pay. So that is one thing. As far as cost per 1,000 mechanism is concerned, it is mainly for those marketeers who are into branding. So let's say if I'm a Pepsi or a Coke, I say that I don't care if the users click on my ad or not. I just want to bombard my users. I just want people to see my ad, and that's the reason I'll pay you X amount of dollars for cost per 1,000 impressions. Let me see. We have few questions. So Vishnu has asked, any idea what is the average CPA, CTR, and CPM for e-commerce in India and a comparison with US? Are there any benchmarks? So yes, Vishnu, there are benchmarks both in India and in US, but these benchmarks are very industry specific. So for example, a cost per acquisition for an insurance is generally higher because insurance is a category wherein the products are complex. You need a lot of convincing to the user. So that's why the cost per acquisition is slightly higher. And it makes sense as well because even the benefits are also higher. The commissions, etc., that a particular company gets from that sales is higher. So these CPAs are justified. Similarly, if I compare the cost per acquisition to a industry like, let's say, e-commerce industry who is into selling all sorts of goods, let's say Flipkart. So cost per acquisition will not be much higher because they are selling a whole range of products. So there can be different users interested in different products. So their number of users who are coming in and actually making a purchase will be higher. So, but the margins might be lower depending upon what business model they are in. And usually e-commerce companies work on a very tight margin. So margin on one product will be lower, but generally the cost per acquisition will not be very high compared to, let's say, a insurance or let's say a credit card kind of a company. So that is your first question. Next is about CTR and CPM. And again, CTR and CPM are something which is dependent upon the competition. So as you know, this works on an auction basis. Anything that most things that you do online in digital marketing, be it on Google or Facebook or Twitter or most platforms, these things work on an auction basis. So in an auction, it depends on how much it doesn't matter how much you want to pay. It actually depends on how much the others are paying. So let's say I am bidding a $2. I'm putting a $2 bid for a particular keyword for Google, for a particular ad. I'm saying that, okay, this keyword, buy shoes, show my ad and I'll pay you $2 for a click. There is another user, another company that comes in that says, okay, no, I'll pay $3. So there's a bidding war. So the CTRs the CPCs, CPMs, and respectively the CTRs. So these benchmarks depend on the competition of the industry. And hence, more the competition, higher the CTRs and CPMs. And after a point of time, they reach a certain saturation level because there are certain players who are already operating, they don't want to increase their cost, so they keep a certain benchmark and respect the competition as well. So in US, you will see there is a much more saturation in every industry's benchmarks of CTRs, CPMs, and CPCs as well. But in India, it's still evolving because we are not yet too old in this game. We are still in a stage where the moment a company gets funding, they start spending online heavily because their only goal is increase the consumer, increase the market, increase their customer base so that they can they can have their next round of funding. So this is how basically things stand. But over a period of time, next 4 to 5 years, you will see much more standardization in all these things as we grow. There's a question from, I hope I answered your question. Next is, we have a question from Jason Fernandez. He's asked, what is the abbreviation of KRAs? So KRAs is nothing that, again, it's not a digital marketing term, it's a company-based term. So basically, and some people call it KRA, in some companies just call your, what are the key things that you want to achieve. So let's say if you're sitting with your manager and you're planning next quarter, so we'll ask you, okay, what are the 5 things you want to achieve in next quarter? So that becomes your KRAs, that key thing that you'll be doing, like maybe a key, its actual definition is key resource allocation, but it's basically how you will be judged, how will your performance be judged. So when I gave an example of KRA as conversion, so most digital marketers have a KRA of, let's say, X amount of conversion or X percentage of conversions from their marketing budget. So basically it's delivering your campaign depending upon the budget that you set out with. Yeah, so GB has asked that couldn't follow the organic traffic thing. So GB, organic traffic is nothing. It's something which you have not paid for. So for example, as I mentioned, if you are into a business of selling shoes, and a user searches for a term called buy shoes, and for some reason, because you have built something, you have good content on your website, or it matches with the query, you show up in the Google results. So in the Google search results, if you just show up in the first page or the second page or any of the Google pages, and if a user clicks on that page, on that link which you have not paid for, and reaches to your website, so that is an organic traffic. So that is something you are receiving organically, which you have not paid for at all. So that is organic traffic, and paid is something which you've actually paid dollars, you have actually paid money to advertise, and then user is clicking on it and reaching to your website. So that is the difference between paid and organic. I hope that clears it out. Next is, we have a comment from Vishnu as well, that you are looking for more detailed information about CPAs, the cost per acquisition in different segments. Yes, the insurance example that you have given, definitely in the same vertical, or there can be a huge rise in CPAs in US, in India, or maybe in some other country. Again, it depends on the business, or on the geography. So it depends on a lot of things. And again, if you have certain specific things in mind, I can definitely dig up some data and get you the benchmark that you're looking for. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Moving on to our excuse me. Moving on to our next terminology. You might be thinking that I'm spending too much time on these terminologies. See, the only reason is that once you understand these basic terminologies, it makes it a bit easier for all of us to go through the course. So once these things reappear, because a lot of these things will again appear in some form or the other in our content going further. So it will be easier for you to relate to them. There'll be even better clarity. So that's why I'm just putting a bit more emphasis on these key terms. So next is keywords. So keywords are usually very at a core to digital marketing, be it Google search engines or even on display. Keywords-based advertising is something that is very critical and has been, again, the digital marketing, the basic building blocks of digital marketing starts with keywords. They're the kind of keywords you choose for your ads, for your ad campaigns, the kind of keywords you put for your search engine optimizations in your website so that you get better search results. So that's why keywords are important, and we'll discuss it more how keywords are used and how you can use in your campaigns. Next is search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is something you do, the steps you take, the things you do to make sure that your website or whatever your brand, it appears higher on the Google search engine. So this is directly linked to the organic traffic. So higher your search results, higher is your organic traffic. So basically, the better your content, and again, putting it in another example, the better, more engaging content you have on your website, better are your chances of getting higher search results, because then more people will be already visiting your website, more people will be there on your website, and then it will prompt the search engine, the algorithm of the search engine to basically make sure that your search results are higher. So the techniques that you develop, and we have a session for this as well, the techniques that you develop in your digital marketing plan, so that you get better search results. Next is search engine marketing. Again, this is directly related to your paid traffic. So how do you spend your money? How do you build your campaign so that you effectively reach out to the users you want to? So in a way, the users that you think are most profitable for your business, the users you think will result in more conversion, and you actually want to spend the money to reach out to those users. So that depends on your search engine marketing. Next is meta tags. Meta tags is nothing but just the text that appears beneath any link. So these are the tags which actually determine the search results and which help the search engine list your website, and which basically defines your website in a way. Blog, and I mean, blog doesn't need any description. I hope you understand, all of you understand blogs. So a blog can be a personal blog or a company-owned blog. So if you're a business, you will have your own blog wherein your content people will be putting in content about your company, or even maybe guest blogs you might be inviting for your company, or you can just be an individual blogger who is trying to make money through blogging. Infographics, a very popular new medium that has come in. It's a kind of a blog. So it's a kind of a blog, but again, it has some information with images. So again, images are key to increasing engagement, as you would see a lot of images and videos and stuff. Similarly, follower, fans, subscribers. So these are terms which are used to measure engagement on different platforms. So on Twitter, let's say, it's called followers. So the higher the engagement that your Twitter account has, your company has on Twitter, higher will the followers. On Facebook, you will have fans. On YouTube, you will have subscribers. So there are different terms used for different mediums of engagement on different platforms. Bounce rate is something which is basically how many people visited your website and left within a particular amount of time. Let's say if you have decided that time should be 20 seconds or something. So you define that, okay, how many people visited your website? Let's say 100 people visited your website and left within 20 seconds. They just left your website. Maybe they might ended up on that website wrongly, or they just didn't like the product or your service. So your bounce rate will be, let's say, 50 people visited your website, left within 20 seconds. So your bounce rate will be 50%, and usually it's not that higher. But again, it can be. So next is goals, and again, goals are generally what do you set out to achieve. So what do you want from your marketing campaign? Something like, let's say, a few companies have a goal of reaching out to the maximum people, let's say brand awareness. A big company like a Pepsi or a Coke, they will not care much about how much money they have spent. They just want to spend their millions on reaching out to maximum users. So their goal will be very specified as a brand awareness. Some other companies, new companies in the market, they might just be looking for reaching out to the users in terms of clicks. So you can have different goals. You can set out different goals for yourself in your digital marketing campaign. So moving on to our next segment, and what is digital marketing? And again, this is more elaboration of what we have discussed. I have tried to touch base upon most topics, but through our terminology thing. But we'll see what more we can put in this segment. So basically, digital marketing, as defined by some, it's an art of selling things online. So we can say an art or a science of selling things online. How do you make your voice heard online? How do you can reach out to the users? And again, explained through outbound and inbound. So you can see through this image here. So here is your website, and you are spending money to tell user that okay, this is your website and this is what you sell, and you are trying to sell it to a set of users. Now, let's say among those users, few reach out to your website directly, so that will be a success of your outbound campaign. And some of them, let's say, search on Google, or maybe some other people search on Google, and then they reach your website through an inbound stuff. So that is your inbound traffic that you are receiving. So outbound, as I said, outbound is predominantly a paid channel. So whatever money that you pay to reach out to your audience, any dollar spent to reach out to your reach out to your prospective audience, your prospective customers, is basically your outbound channel. And there are different things mentioned there. I'll just touch base upon them briefly. Few things I've already covered, but again, whatever I have left, I'll just put them. So starting from the top, we have display ads. So display ads is something, let's say you visit timesofindia.com. You would have seen certain ads popping up, some images on the right, some banners on the top, a video maybe which starts somewhere on the website. So these are all examples of display ads. So basically, you are putting, somebody is actually paying money to Times of India to put their ads there. Next is social media ads. Similar to display ads, any ads that you put out on social media platform. Let's say you have an agreement with Twitter, you have put out an ad on Twitter, or let's say on LinkedIn you are subscribed to a certain ad format of theirs, so you have put their ads there. Similar to let's say you are into Facebook, you have logged into Facebook buying platform, and you have put in your ads on Facebook. So all these ads constitute the social media ads. Gmail ads, you would have seen certain ads in your Gmail as well. If you use Gmail, you will see sometimes there are certain ads that appear inside the email in the right corner of the email, or sometimes on the top of it. So those are examples of Gmail ads. There are certain paid newsletters. So you actually pay money to certain newsletters. So they also, which are published in certain, let's say, certain news websites or certain other websites, you're actually paying money to put a certain newsletter on a certain website. So those are paid newsletters, and there are free newsletters as well, which you try and promote. In-app ads. In-app ads is, I'm sure if you've used apps like any gaming app or any other app, sometimes you will see an ad appears on the top, and maybe as a full screen or as just a small banner at the bottom. So those kind of ads constitute in-app ads. There are certain paid links. So you put your links, just your links on some other website, on some other platform, and you pay for those links. So usually these links work on a cost per click basis. So on a website, you will see a small link for, let's say, education abroad, and there will be a university who has paid for that link to that website, and they are paying on a click basis. So those are some examples of the paid links. Then there is search engine ads, and we spoke about it. Search engine ads are nothing but any search engine that you have paid money to you have gone into the auction, and depending upon the auction and the results, your ad will appear. So those are the search engine ads in digital advertising. One, you might have noticed that I have just skipped remarketing ads in between, because I think this is one of the most important ad format as far as Indian market is concerned. So remarketing ads is something which is, to explain it, you are showing your ad, you are showing a better ad to a user who has already visited your website. So let me explain this through an example. Let's say if you have visited GoIBO website and you are looking for a flight from Delhi to Mumbai, and you looked at, you just had a look at the rates and the timings, and then you left the website because maybe you wanted to purchase the ticket later or something like that, or maybe you ended up making a purchase as well. So tomorrow, if you are browsing some other website, you're not on GoIbibo, you are on some other website, and you start seeing ads which are GoIbibo ads, and the content is Delhi to Mumbai flight rates at 20% discount, or you see an ad which says Mumbai to Delhi flight at, let's say, 4,000 rupees or 4,500 rupees or whatever, which looks attractive. So these kind of ads are remarketing ads. What this means is that you are trying to reach out to a user who has already visited your website, but you are reaching out to that user very personally in a very targeted manner. So the system has the information that that user who visited, who left a cookie on your portal, and based on that cookie you identify that, okay, this is the user, and to this user you want to show a relevant ad. So for example, if I've gone to Flipkart and I've bought a Nike shoe, tomorrow Flipkart might choose to show me an ads of, let's say, Nike socks, or maybe if I bought running shoes, Nike shorts, running shorts, or Nike some other gear which is related to running. So in this way they are trying to cross-sell and upsell different products to a user which they know that he's interested and he has visited for something, or maybe the same product with a better offer. These are the kind of options that are there, that are available through remarketing. And when I said it is very popular in India, because this is one medium where most marketers in India spend their major percentage of money, their major percentage of marketing dollars on. So again, because in India, see, we are kind of users who need a lot of persuasion before you actually make a purchase, because that's how the Indian user is. We look into, before we make any purchase, on an average, we look into 3-4 options, we deliberate, we take some time. So that's the reason this format works beautifully for Indian market. And again, this format is very popular in other markets as well. But generally in India, it helps in selling things, in persuading people to buy things online, to buy that product. So that's why it has been very popular. Just a small note on how you should, as you can see on the right side, there are certain things you can do to make sure that you are spending your dollars well. So again, you can start with, if you're a new business, you can start with small budget. You can choose maybe 2 or 3 platforms out of this given platform that we have here. You can have a very precise targeting. You can, depending upon the budget, you can decide, okay, I'll target only one particular geography. I'll not go whole hog. Let's say if I want to sell my product in Maharashtra, I'll start only with, let's say, Pune, and then see how it goes and expand to other markets. Again, depending upon the money that you have spent, you get audience immediately because your ads are up there. You don't need multi-million dollars to put your ads on the, just like television. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Similarly, you can adjust your ads. So on a daily basis, you can adjust your ads. On a, let's say, if your ad, you feel you have put in 3 ads on the platforms, 2 of them are not working very well, so you can maybe take them down at any moment of time. You have the data to back it up, that okay, which one of them are doing well, which one of them are not doing well. Those kind of things you can easily do. You can use remarketing to reach out to, as I explained about remarketing, how you can reach out to the user again and again. You can increase your brand recall using remarketing. And over a period of time, you can use all these channels, you can use all these outbound platforms available to you to build your brand and enhance your sales. Moving on, again, this is the wrong perception that the costs are higher in digital marketing. There is some people have that perception, but it's not like that. As I said, you can start with a very small budget. Platforms like Google AdWords, even Facebook, they give you flexibility to choose your budgets, to choose what kind of cost you want to spend, and you can deepen your relation. And the relationship generally that you build are not only transactional. You can use certain platforms. They're engaging platforms like YouTube, Instagram. These kind of platforms help you build your brand over a longer period of time. So those kind of things you can do. So, and again, you can scale even the smaller companies, depending upon how much users that you have built over a period of time. You can scale as well. and in India it depends usually on the funding that you're receiving. So you can scale at any point of time. You can scale to multiple segments. You can increase your budget for the same segment. So those kind of things you can do. Next, we'll talk about the inbound channel. So inbound channel, the key to a successful inbound channel, inbound marketing is the money, is the resources, both money and your key resources of your company that you're spending on creating your content. So the better content that you create for your company, there's a better chance of more users coming to your website and spending more time on your website. And these things are directly correlated. So the better content you have on your website, more users will be visiting, more time they'll be spending, and again, this will result in better search results for your company. So you will get more traffic from Google, and again, it's a cycle which can, if you are doing things right with your content, can exponentially increase your level of users that you are getting, that are free users you are getting. And different examples for your inbound channels are your blogs, the PR that you are doing, basically the PR stuff that you are doing, that your company is doing. Your social media posts is another big channel. Videos that you are putting on YouTube, on Vimeo, or other video channels. Email is a very important channel for driving organic traffic, wherein email is a very cheap medium. I mean, it's not a very expensive medium. It takes very little money to run good email campaigns. It just requires a bit of a strategy. And then you have newsletters, guest blogs, you're inviting other users to write blogs about you. So in general, inbound channel doesn't deliver the results instantaneously, because you have to put a lot of time and resources to develop a good channel. So, but over a long period of time, it gives a long-term impact. I mean, if you have spent decent amount of resources in getting good content on your website and around your website, then there's a chance that over a longer period of time you get fruits of it. It helps in strong branding, and it helps in helps the user associate with your brand more. Over a period of time, you will see your acquisition costs will fall because you have good content on your website. You are engaging with the users well. So all these are, again, the long-term advantages of building trust, increasing sales, and increasing the brand impact of your brand over a period of time. And again, as I said, it takes certain time. You need to be patient with your inbound channels, because it can't happen overnight. You can't have 100 post blog overnight. It takes time to build that kind of thing. And you need to be very well versed in your content marketing skills. So creating content is not the only thing, but showing your content to the right users, putting it at the right time, planning your content is very important. So for example, if you have a marketing calendar in front of you, and you know, okay, what are the events that will be happening for the next 1 year, then you can plan your content accordingly for your product launches, for aiding your let's say TV campaigns, for assisting your other marketing things. Let's say something you have planned for out of home marketing, some other campaign you are doing, or some other release that you are planning. So your content can amplify those things if you have planned in advance. So that's the reason creating good content and planning it well ahead is very critical in your content marketing efforts. Just a bit of a stat here for inbound and outbound marketing. So this is a stat from HubSpot. So compared to inbound and outbound, you will see this is the cost per lead depending upon the company size. So for a small company, you can see that there's a huge difference between there's a huge difference of cost between the inbound and the outbound cost. Reason being that a smaller company has to spend more money to get the acquisitions, so that's why the outbound cost grow overly, because they don't have that kind of a budget. They don't have that kind of a reach, basically. Next is a mid-sized employee company, 51 to 100. The gap is again almost 3 times. a very huge outbound budget because you're trying to expand your business, you put a lot more money into your marketing resources, and hence your outbound costs go up. For a bigger company, over a period of time, the outbound costs come down because you are making enough money from your inbound as well. So you are getting a lot of, you've already spent those money which was required in your outbound efforts, and now you are getting the long-term advantages of having a good inbound channel. And then you are getting a lot of traffic organically, a lot of traffic from other sources which you are not paying for, and hence your inbound cost comes down, as well as you don't have to spend too much on outbound to get that additional customers in your basket. So let me introduce to Annie. So Annie will ask you questions in every session. She will appear maybe once or twice or sometimes thrice in every session, and she'll ask you a question about the things we have discussed. So let's see what she's asking us. So what do you think is the most sustainable digital marketing channel from what we have discussed? And you can reply using the questions panel. Well, I've got a very good answer from Vishnu, that is brand equity. Yes, definitely, Vishnu, that is something that is the most sustainable long-term digital marketing channel. Yeah, so the answer that Annie has is inbound marketing, and again, the answer that I received from you guys was around this. So you gave different aspects of inbound marketing, which is again the most sustainable kind of a thing, because as I explained, the kind of resources and the kind of time and energy you spend in developing your inbound channels, over a long period of time, you'll find the kind of advantages you'll get from it. Moving forward, so now we have discussed about the basics of digital marketing, different channels, different resources available to you as a marketer. Now let's talk about something that anybody can relate to, even if you are not into digital marketing or any other, if you do any business, if you do anything in your life, this is something that is important to you. I mean, even if you are selling your product through online channels or offline channels or any other channel, I mean, you're just selling from your home or anything, any business you are doing, or you are into a business of creating online resources, let's say PDFs and other knowledgeable resources. So any kind of thing, you have a customer attached to your business. So any kind of service or product you might be having, but there's a certain customer, there's a certain person you are trying to reach. And every business usually has a ideal customer in their mind. That, okay, what are the things my customer will have? What are the things my product has that will appeal to a particular person? So what attributes I should see in a person to say, okay, yes, this is the ideal customer that my product or my service has. And again, who is the customer? What is the customer doing? What is the different patterns of, let's say, consumer behavior in terms of buying patterns or online patterns? What are the things my customer is interested in? What are the challenges my customers are facing? What are those things that I can improve, maybe to help solving a customer's problem? What are the things that a customer maybe not currently he is having it as a problem, but going forward he might think that, okay, this is one thing I can solve for him. So these kind of things you need to, as a marketer, you need to understand, you need to be very clear about your consumer. So for example, in an insurance business, in an online insurance business, again, I'll keep coming back to my current industry that I'm working in. So the biggest challenge is to make sure that a customer is comfortable with buying insurance online. So that is our biggest challenge. And we understand that is the biggest problem for the customer, because a customer has to be comfortable in giving all his details, because I'm sure if you have bought insurance, you will know that you need to give a whole lot of details to buy an insurance. And here I'm talking about, let's say, life insurance. So they'll ask about your family history, they'll ask about your medical history or your annual income, all sort of personal stuff they will ask online. So as a customer, you might think that, okay, I'm giving this information to this portal, will they misuse it? Will they sell my data to some other company? Or is it really important. I mean, it is really suitable for me to give them all this information. This is the one challenge that we face, and we try to find solutions to it. And we try to put a lot more privacy settings into a platform so that people are more encouraged to buying online. And we try to educate them through, let's say, customer reach efforts, where we tell them how buying online will help them cut out the middlemen, as well as they will get to know, okay, what is the best plan for them in terms of both money and the kind of features the product has. Those kind of things we try and make sure that the customer problem is solved using that. And I'm sure in your business as well, you must be feeling there are different challenges which comes directly from the customer. So it's important for every business to understand those challenges, to understand, okay, what a customer is looking for, what is the basic description of my customer. So once you have defined your customer, it's important that you define the personality of a customer. Like what exactly, so this will basically define by using 4 C's of digital marketing. So again, it's a fashion of using jargons like 4 C's of digital marketing, 4 P's of marketing, and all those stuff. So we have 4 C's of digital marketing in this. Hassan, you just mentioned the audio is lost. Can you hear me now? Hassan, can you hear me? Am I audible? Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so moving on with the 4 C's of digital marketing we are talking about is customer, content, context, and conversation. So basically, in your digital marketing efforts, when you are sitting down planning a strategy, you have to define who sees your message, who are the people you want to see your message. Next comes is content, that what does your message contain. So once a customer, you have paid enough money to send out your message to the user. So next important thing is, what is the message that the customer is seeing, right? Context. Context is at what time or time of day or at place the customer sees this message. So what is the reason for the customer to see the message? So I'll give you an example that, let's say I'm Domino's and I have a very good lunchtime offer of buy one get one pizzas, which is valid for, let's say, 3 hours, 12 to 3, which is predominantly a lunchtime. And if I'm showing that message to a customer who might be interested in that offer, but if I'm showing him that message at 4 o'clock in the evening, late in the afternoon, then the message might lose its purpose, because the user might have already had its lunch, and then this lunchtime message won't make sense. The context in which you are showing the message to your user also becomes important. Conversation, basically what are the kind of conversations you are having with your user. So as I explained earlier, conversation is something wherein you try to engage your users through various, maybe through your social media accounts, through your emails, and other stuff like blogging and guest blogs and stuff. So in these kind of things, you need to see that what is the kind of conversation, what is the level of engagement you are doing with the users. So that is again key to your digital marketing efforts. So again, just a brief description of who is your ideal customer. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. So once you actually sit down, so you sit down with your marketing teams, you sit down with your product teams, and even the sales teams who understand the customer better than anyone. So you need to ask these questions to each other, to your business. Okay, who is my customer? What is my customer doing? What are the 3 top things I think my customer is interested in? How are currently we solving the problem? What more can we do? And if I'm selling my product online, where will I find them? What are the do I think that my customers will be interested in a sports website? Do I think my customer will be interested in some let's say a content which is more dramatic in nature? Let's say a YouTube videos which are more dramatic in nature, some movie related videos, or some websites like news websites. So those kind of things you need to ask yourself, and then you need to find answers on it. And again, these are the questions you just can't find answers just based on your instinct. I mean, some of them you definitely will, but for some you will need data. So you will need some benchmarks, as earlier was put out by Vishnu, that you need actual data. You need actual data from industry, that okay, what are the things in your industry the customers are most interested in. And again, these days companies like Google, Facebook, they provide you with that data, that benchmark data, that okay, so and so percentage users were interested in this particular thing, so and so users were interested in that particular segment. So you can formulate your strategies, your targetings based on these set of data that you receive. Content is, as I said, something that you are putting out to the user. So for content, you need to ask these questions, that the information that you are providing to a user, will it be really helpful for the user? So let's say if I have a credit card, I'm a credit card company, and I have put out an ad that I'm giving a credit card for free. Buy a free credit card. That is my message that's going out. But do I really think that a free credit card will excite a user? Or if maybe some other feature of the product, let's say a 5% cashback, or let's say 500 rupees vouchers, Book My Show vouchers, something like that, which might be already be there in the product as a feature, that thing will be more interesting for the user than this maybe just a free credit card. So those kind of things you need to ask yourself. And how do you make this information easy to understand and use? Because you have a certain limit. I mean, be it a search ad, or be it a banner ad, or any ad that you put out online on your on the platforms. So you need to see that it's not very complicated. People can understand it very easily. They can understand the offer or the things associated with it very clearly. And it's not very difficult to understand, basically. Next is context. So, and I gave you an example of context with the Domino's example, that in any offer or any kind of a message that you are giving to the user, yes, the requirement is important, that it should be needed by the consumer, but a context is very important. Like whatever offer that you are giving to the user, will it solve the user's problem now? Maybe he likes your product, he might use it later, but you are spending money now, you are putting in your dollars now. So will it actually help the user now? So those are the kind of questions you need to put in, because see, reaching out to 100 users is okay, but reaching out to 50 users who are currently in need of that particular service is the best strategy. And you have to figure out how do you put out that content exactly, and you figure out how to exactly find those users online who will be your best consumers and who will actually make the purchase for you. Conversation is not only about users talking to you, or users putting post on your Facebook post, or you're replying to your Twitter account. It's also about how are you responding to it. I mean, I'll give you an example of bank. Let's say an HDFC bank. So a company like an HDFC bank, they will not have a conversation where people will love their brand and they will just want to talk about the brand online. 90% of the users who will put a message on a Twitter or a Facebook post on an HDFC account will be most likely for the problem, that okay, they had certain problem with an ATM, or with they went to a particular branch and their questions were not answered, they wanted to withdraw money, or they wanted some kind of an overdraft facility, but they were not helped. So these are the kind of questions that people will come up with. And when people come up with these questions and you are a bank, the speed of response and the quality of response is of utmost importance, and it will go a long way in deciding whether your conversation with the user was successful or not. So in that respect, it's important that that as a brand you understand your user, you understand his problems and what kind of question he's asking, and responding to it well. So your response becomes a key in each of these conversations. And again, it also helps in building your sales process. So even if, let's say, you have not acquired a user, but he's just asking questions about your brand, or he's more interested in knowing about your product and service. So the more the better responses you put out in these conversations, the better your sales cycle will become. So the holy grail of digital marketing. So when you create your own digital marketing campaign, what is the best case scenario? That you create a campaign, you reach out to a user with a brilliant content and in the right context, and the sale happens. This is the dream scenario for any marketer. Basically, you find the and this usually happens in 1 in 100 case scenarios, because finding a user with the right content and in the right context is the biggest challenge that anyone can encounter with. But again, you strive as a marketer, be it digital marketer or be it even a traditional marketer. This is one challenge that you strive for, that you live for, basically, as a marketer. Let's go through some examples and see what users do if they want to do something, if they want to make a purchase, if they're looking for something. So, for example, you want to buy a new mobile phone, but you are not sure which company to buy. So what is a natural thing to do? I mean, you're in the market to buy a mobile phone, and again, there are hundreds of options available in the market. You're very confused. So what do? You go to Google, you type. If you are absolutely not sure what to do, you just search for, okay, buy a mobile phone. Or if you have a short list of, let's say, if you have a certain budget, you put in a query that, okay, let me buy a good mobile phone for less than 20,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or whatever. These kind of filters you put in. And then you go to, depending upon the results you get, you go to Amazon, you go to Flipkart and other retailers, you go to and look at the products, you find out the reviews, you read about them, you get to know, understand the product. You see the prices, you compare the prices. So that's how a normal user behavior happens. And again, you will also consult in this entire scenario. You might also ask your Facebook friends to suggest a good phone, or whether if you want to review that, okay, this phone I'm planning to buy, this is a good phone or not. So those kind of things you do. Now the next is, what should a phone, if I am a phone manufacturer, what should I do to make sure that I reach out to this user who is actually looking for something? So I have to make sure that I have my product information available everywhere, on different product sites, on review sites, on Google as a whole. I'm advertising on Google with the right keywords. And I'll make sure that compared to the competition that I am in, my content is good. Obviously, my product has to be better than the competition. That is one thing. But otherwise as well, I need to make sure that the content that I put in is good enough to catch the attention of the users. What else you can do? So to make sure the magic happens, there are multiple things you can do. You can maybe enhance your product offer compared to the user that you are targeting. Maybe you can put more emphasis on advertising on Google. Maybe you can put out a video of your mobile phone on how to use it and how it is better. A consumer video which is just a very shot by an amateur to show how good the product is. So those kind of different things you can do to make sure the magic happens and actually the purchase happens for someone who is looking for a product. So this is the magic in action 1. Next is let's look into some B2B stuff. So let's say you are a marketing manager of a multi-million-dollar B2B company, and you're looking for a CRM solution. So when you're looking for a CRM solution, what is the one thing that you will do? So one is you will ask your fellows in other companies, because CRM is a big thing. You will spend a lot of money in buying a CRM. It's just not a mobile phone or something which you are buying for a personal use. Here you are actually making a purchase for the company. So you have much more responsibility on you to make sure the right purchase happens. So you will search Google for information. You will go to software review sites. You will go to technology blogs, obviously, because those are the ones that will give you a better perspective rather than any consumer site. And some other, maybe on LinkedIn as well, you will look out for certain CRM providers, certain companies who are providing CRMs. Then you will visit their websites. You will see how good the usability is. You will look for those YouTube videos for those CRMs and try and understand whether it is worth it, it is easy to use or not. And then basically you will sign up for it and to see how the trial version goes up. So these are the few broad things you will do. From a company perspective, if let's say I'm creating a CRM, I am into CRM manufacturing, I publish CRM. So what should I do? I should make sure that the marketing manager who's looking for a CRM, Amy in this case, she's able to discover the product first of all. If she's not able to discover the product, if the product is not available in search results, if not available in other websites, I'm not marketing it at all, I don't have any email list. So if that kind of thing I'm doing, then obviously any consumer who is lookout of any marketing manager or any product manager who is looking out for that CRM will not be able to find that. And again, as I said, CRM purchase is a complex purchase compared to other purchases an individual would do. So you need to make sure the information is structured in a way that a user, a person who is in the market to buy that CRM is able to understand and process the information. Provide the trial software for evaluation and have a decent period of trial, 30 days, not just a 1 or 2 day trial, it's a good 3 to 4 weeks trial. And as I said, that Amy will, the marketing manager will visit certain technology blogs, sites to evaluate and read about different products. So you make sure that your product is available on relevant sites and not just, and it's not just omitted from those important websites. And yes, you need to advertise on Google, you need to put money into remarketing. That's a question that you need to ask depending upon the business you are in. Do you really think that maybe remarketing a CRM will help your business? Then that's a question you need to ask. So just recapping of what is happening there. I mean, in the entire these two incidents that we just discussed, what is happening in this? What is the flow which is happening? And I can assure you this is something which is happening in almost every segment of every segment we are in. So a customer is in lookout for something. He visits trusted websites, trusted channels to figure out what he wants. And in a way, he's helping you understand the context that, okay, what is he looking for? Now it's your responsibility to give the person the right content so that when he is looking to find information, you give them the right information. That eventually builds trust with the user. The user shares your shares your brand, talks about your brand, and then eventually it leads to action. So this is a natural flow of things that happens usually in these two examples, and for the matter of fact, any other example. So for you, what you need to do is you need to evaluate the plan in terms of how do you want to connect with your user, how do you want to convert your prospects into customers, how do you want to reach out to that particular user who is thinking of buying something, who might be in need of something, and then you over time build that lead, you create that lead and build that lead over a period of time and sell your product. So that strategy you need to figure out in terms of different channels as well as the goals that you have set out for yourself. Yeah, so we have a question from Annie. So define what is a customer persona? How will you define a customer persona? An answer from Jason Fernandez that customer persona is customer profile, gender, age, family, public status, income status. I think you have summed it up beautifully. You have, I think, all the customer parameters that I could have think of, or even Annie could think of. You have mentioned it. It's basically a profile of an ideal user. That is customer persona. Looking into some of the questions which I missed, I think, during my discussion. Just let me see. So there's a question from Vishnu about DMPs. Okay, so how good is the data availability in India? In the West, we have DMPs. Yeah, you're right. We have in the West, we have data management platforms. And again, these data management platforms serve as an intermediary in which you can buy based on the analytics and based on the targeting, you can buy third-party audiences, and it works through ad networks and exchanges. And in West, it's very popular, and ad exchanges and networks are very popular in West. In India, it's still not very popular. In India, still the marketeers are relying on agencies and the auction-based system. But I'm sure in the next 1 year, the way Google is promoting their programmatic thing, both in US and India, I'm sure in next 1 year, 2 years, these kind of because again in India also the market is evolving. People are looking for advanced analytics thing, so this will come into the picture more often than not. And I'm very confident in next 2 years you will see. And that's the reason this the big data thing we talk about all these days. This will come in. This will become even more prominent in the coming years. I hope I answered a bit of that question. I mean, this. So we have one more question, and this question is just a second. I think I've lost that question. This is about remarketing. So remarketing is. So as I explained earlier, remarketing is reaching out to a user who has already visited your website in a way, who already knows about you, who's already looking for something. So as I gave an example of a shoe. So let's say I came to your website and I actually ended up looking for a shoe on your website, but I didn't make a purchase. So in that case, you can reach out to that user again by targeting your ads back to that user in a way that the ad is more engaging. The ad is more suitable to the user. So the example that I shared was if I have bought a shoe from your website, next I might get an ad from the website which says buy a pair of shorts at 20% discount of the same brand or maybe different brand, and this offer is valid only for today. Because I understand that the user has bought a running shoe and he might be interested in buying shorts as well. So that's the way I will try to persuade the user to make another purchase. This is about remarketing, and you can use it in different ways. I mean, you can usually the duration that people use depends on the business. That okay, I'll say I'll remarket to a particular user for 30 days. I'll remarket to a particular list of users for 60 days, depending upon the life cycle of my product, depending upon how I think that the user will be in the market for that product for a longer period of time. So depending upon those kind of nitty-gritties of my business, I can decide the duration of how much I have to reach out to that user for how long, what duration of the time. So moving on with our next segment. So what are the 3 essential ingredients of digital marketing? So one is you get traffic on your website. So that is whatever you plan, whatever you spend your money on, the key thing is you want to get traffic on your website. So once you get traffic on your website, you go into insights. You use Google Analytics or different Google Webmaster tools and stuff. You do that, and then you analyze those data sources to understand what your users are doing on your website and generally what the users are looking for. What are the aspects that they like? What are the aspects that they spend more time on? What are the things, pages, links that they most clicked? So those kind of data-driven insights that you drive from your website traffic, it's basically analytics, and your decision making depends on that. So how do you decide that okay, what more you need to do to engage the user? It depends on the traffic that you've analyzed. And next is obviously this all things results into sales in some form or the other. So so as I said, if you want to sell something, so first of all you need users to come to your website. So the first thing you do in digital marketing is develop strategies to get the user on your website. So you and the target you take for yourself. So for example, if I've started my business now and I've started spending money today, I'll set out my goals that okay, this week I'll try and get 1,000 users on my website. and then I'll, depending upon the kind of money that I'm spending, I'll put my targets on reach and not on sales exactly. I'll try and build some user base over a period of time, and then I'll worry about sales. I'll give you a small example. These days, especially the companies which are app related, like Grofers, or let's say a Big Basket, or any other company which is totally app based, when they get a funding. So let's say if I'm a new company, I've just developed an app which is providing some service to the user. When I get a funding, so let's say I get a $5 million funding in my first seed funding. So almost every new company, they are spending 50% of their money just to make sure that their app is downloaded, so that the rest 2.5 I'll spend on other things like improving my operations, improving my service, building up the capacity to to improve the services. Those kind of things I'll spend money on. But my 50% of my efforts will be to get my customer base going, because till I don't have a customer base, I cannot justify my funding, and I cannot build upon something till I don't have those kind of customers. And again, we have discussed all this in brief, that the different ways you can do it. Again, you can using your search engine optimizations, your search engine marketing, referrals through social media, putting your ads on platforms, organic referrals, your email marketing, and affiliate. So affiliate is nothing. We'll discuss. We have a session for affiliate as well. But affiliate is nothing but you pay somebody else. So let's say I am a company who's let's say I'm Flipkart, right? And what I do is I'll pay Times of India and say, okay, I'll pay 10 rupees to you for whatever sale happens at my web, whatever users I get from your website. So if I get 100 users and I have an agreement of, let's say 100 users, 10 rupees. I'll say if I get 100 users from your websites, I'll pay you 10 rupees. So that is again a very vague example generally, because there are certain companies in the market who work as affiliate, who their only job is to supply traffic to different websites. So again, and this affiliate marketing is a very popular thing which is coming up these days. We'll discuss this in more detail going forward as well. SEO, as we discussed, this is a process. Basically, these are the strategies that you, some tactics that you do with your site pages, so that you increase your search result ranking. So as you would understand that there is a certain, for every search that you do on Google, there is a certain rank associated for every link that you get. So those ranks are determined basis the kind of content you have, the kind of relevant to the search query, the kind of time people spend on your websites, and it's a culmination of all these factors. And over a period of time, your search result, to improve your search result, you have to make sure that you take care of certain search engine optimization tactics. Something that you do is something like search ads, display ads. You can do apart from your search engine optimization tactics as well. So these search ads will be displayed on Google properties like Google search engine, and if they have any partner sites, it will display on them. It will show based on in response to a search term. So for example, if you search for a keyword like buy shoes, you will get ad which is relevant to your search term. Like from buy shoes, you will not see an ad for a television or a refrigerator. You will see ad which is relevant to your search query, and it can be text ads, which the text ads that you see. Display ads is again, it's shown in context of the content of the sites. So Google itself has its own network of display ads. So what is a display ad network? So for example, let's say you have a blog. And you publish and you write some content. You publish your blog on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Now you go to Google and you say that, okay, Google, here's my blog. I'm giving you permission to put an ad on my blog. Now, whatever hits that happen on those ads, we will share the revenue. So this is just a more basic way of explaining it. So Google has tie-ups with millions and billions of websites who are part of display ad network. And primarily display ads are visual in nature, so you'll have image ads, you'll have video ads, you'll have different kinds of banner ads on rich media ads, so different kind of ad formats you'll have on display. You will have text ads as well, but generally text ads are more prominent in search, not in display. So this is how you reach out to your audience and get your message, get the traffic on. So if any person clicks on those ads, he will reach your website. So this is how you try and build your traffic. Social media referrals, again, it's very easy to understand. People who come to your website through your social media pages. Let's say you have a Twitter account, you have a Facebook fan page, you have a Facebook account, you're putting out some relevant stuff, some engaging stuff, people click on it, they reach your website. This is how your traffic increases. Maybe people went on some other website, they saw your link there, they clicked on it, they reached your website. It's called referral traffic. So they are different. These are different modes you build your traffic on. So, and social media ads, wherein you actually pay money to Facebook or Instagram or whatever company you pay the money, you put the ad there, and then when people click the ad, they come to your site, and based on the click, you pay money to the particular platform. And if you remember, during the keyword terminology, during the terminology section, we were discussing that there are two kinds of there are two famous kind of payment mechanisms. One is a pay-per-click, and the other is pay-per-impression. So basically, if a user clicks on it, you pay the platform the money, whatever you have agreed, depending upon the option. And one is pay-per-impression, or basically cost per 1,000 impression. So once 1,000 impressions are reached, you'll say, okay, I'll pay you $2. And again, these are mostly used for lead generation, for direct buys, for getting, again, the outbound marketing that we discussed. This constitute all those things. Organic referrals, again, we discussed about the organic traffic, the organic resources. It can be through blog post, through some infographic, maybe some kind of a webinar you have done. Post the webinar, you will get some traffic. Maybe in comments. Comments is a very important way of reaching out to people. So let's say there's a popular blog. You are a new company, and there is a proper blog. There's a very famous blog. Let's say you are into a business of selling camera accessories. Now you have put out comments on a popular blog. There's a very popular blogger named, let's say, XYZ, and he writes on different cameras and different stuff. And now in the comment section, you respond to that blogs, you put your opinions, and also tell the users about the company. So now you know that people will be reading the blog, people will be in the comment section, people might read your comment as well. And then based on that, you can get some traffic from there as well. So it's a very unique way of driving traffic as well. And again, all this is free. So this is more, you spend more time in it rather than money, because to put blog comments, to design blog posts, to design infographics, it requires more time and resource, human resource rather than money. Email is a very valuable and I would say a highly neglected form of digital marketing, and email, you'll be very surprised to know that email is the most efficient form of digital marketing. So if you calculate from all your marketing channels, and I can tell you by experience that from any marketing channel, if you calculate your cost per acquisition, email will have the lowest cost per acquisition of all channels. Email has its own shortcomings as well. I mean, it is not as engaging as a social media platform, or it is not as direct as a search engine or a search engine marketing, but it has its own uniqueness to it. It adds a one-to-one kind of a conversation. It is very cheap. I mean, email packages you can take from any email service provider. They're very, very cheap. If you have built an email list, you can reach out to your users not only for selling, but also for taking their feedback through surveys, to showing them your new product, to doing a limited release. For example, if you come up with a new product and you want to do a limited release, you can do this by your email campaign rather than putting out to the world on social media. So those kind of things are advantages of emails. And again, I cannot stress more upon the fact that it's the cheapest form available as far as digital marketing, and you cannot just ignore it, because in a lot of organizations you will see that emails are generally ignored, and it's a very, there are no specific dedicated person or a team who works on emails and content and the strategy. Generally the same team is just an added responsibility which is given to them, and generally it's very neglected. But again, email, there are companies who take their emails very seriously. So for example, the company BuzzFeed.com, you will see that if you subscribe to BuzzFeed, you will receive, or even Groupon, BuzzFeed, Groupon, these are the companies who have built their businesses on emails. And I mean, Groupon has a very good email, they have brilliant email campaigns, I must say, wherein they reach out to the user in a very unique way, and they come up with, they spend time on very creative, on designing very creative and very brilliant emails. So we have a question from Hassan, which is absolutely very relevant, where he says that email marketing is becoming not so effective with spam filters, and in Canada is restricted by law. I completely agree with you, but as a marketer, you need to understand that if you don't spam your users, if you follow this, in fact in US as well, you mentioned Canada, I'll also say in US as well, the spam laws are very, very strict. The penalties are very high, and if the user complains about you, you might have to pay a lot of money per email. So that those are the kind of laws. But if you are smart enough, and if you have built your list organically, if you don't just purchase user list and start spamming people right, left, and center, then you can use emails very effectively. So by organically, what I mean is that you have actually spent time through using your other channels to build your email list, and you have just not asked a telecom provider or an insurance company to give you 1 million user list or something like that. So in that particular aspect, I must say that yes, your question is right. You have to be very careful by using email, but you can reap the advantage of it if you are careful and if you are smart enough. I hope that answered the query. Affiliates, basically they work as an agent. As I said earlier, they just promote your product. So they are just any other website. You will pay a money every time a person comes from an affiliate, and it can be dependent upon, and it depends on the agreement that you have with an affiliate. The agreement can be based on sales. The agreement can be based on just visits. In US, it is a very popular thing. It's also picking up in India as well. Affiliate generally is an agent or a website who is spending his efforts to make sure that they promote your product. So basically, it's a win-win situation for both of you. If you don't get traffic from an affiliate, you don't have to pay anything to the affiliate. An affiliate has a motivation to provide as much traffic to your website, because he knows that whatever sale will happen, he'll get a share of it. So that is the kind of motivation. So again, so it's a medium that can become a viable business and viable opportunity for anyone who has that kind of an influence in promoting a product. Next is insights. Once you have built a traffic, what more you can do to build insights. So once someone is on your website, who is maybe on your home page or any other page, so you need to understand who are they, where are they coming from, what are the geographies, what are the kind of customer profiles they have. So you need to have a detailed data for all of them. And what are they doing on the websites? I mean, what are the activities they are performing? Are they clicking on particular links? Are there particular web pages which they are interested in? There are particular products they are particularly looking for? And what are some pages or products they are neglecting over a period of time? These are the kind of insights that you have to build upon in your system, that you have to use this data very smartly to make your website and make your product and service even more engaging for your user. And the usage of this data is very important, because see, in your organization there can be multiple consumers for this kind of a data. Maybe your product manager will be interested in this data, even your CEO might be interested in that data, but you need to see what kind of data you want to process to what level of person. So this, you need to work closely with your analytics team in your company to make sure this data is processed well, and hence is put out to good use and not just lost in some Excel sheets and some CSV files. So one such, and again, there are multiple companies who can who assist you with this. And I am a personal favorite. My personal favorite is Google Analytics, because it's very simple to use, easy to use. The UI is very intuitive. You need not be very, you need not be technically very sound to understand this this platform. Otherwise, there are different paid platforms like Omniture, which you can use. So this Google Analytics, if you have your website on Google Analytics, you can just see the data is collected there. You can have the information about the audience, what kind of audience, what are the kind of geographies you're getting from, what is the kind of behavior they have, and we discussed about something called bounce rates. Those kind of things you can understand. And again, considering the importance of Google Analytics, as I mentioned earlier, we have separate dedicated sessions specifically for it. So you can, if you are able to use Google Analytics well, I'm sure you can succeed in your business much better than what you are doing today. There are certain Google Webmaster tools. There is an assignment which is related to Google Webmaster tool as well later in this session. So again, these are all tools which are free. You can get different information using these tools. For example, it will help you see which links are indexed by Google. By indexing, it means on your page, what are the links that are actually being part of the indexing exercise of Google, on which the ranking is based. And on certain queries, where is your site ranks on certain queries. So you will get to know how you can improve on those. From search, how much traffic are you getting? So those kind of bifurcations you can get. The problem that your site's indexing is facing. So all those answers you can get from Google Webmaster tools. And we'll again, as I said earlier, we'll discuss more on it. Now coming to the last segment of the digital marketing funnel that we discussed after the traffic and insights is sales. So sales is basically you are reaching out to people who is your traffic. You are trying to act on their requirements, on their needs, trying to convert them. And once conversion has happened, you are trying to engage with those users. So it's a very common sales funnel, and the names can be different, but the essential philosophy remains the same. The funnel philosophy that basically you reach, act, convert, engage, and it depends on this is what we have put in terms of what can be your goal and what can be your plan. So I think this will help you in understanding, and certain things can change depending upon your business, but predominantly we have tried to cover most common themes. So if you are trying to reach out to a user, your goal is you want to promote your brand, you want to increase the visits. What to do, how to plan it, you create content that focuses on customer reach, it improve SEO, you promote your website on social platforms, on blogs and forums. So this can be a plan, and we have discussed more things on this as well earlier. You act on it. Once the visitors visit your website, you try and sell your things to them. You highlight your key competencies, what are the best rewards that you have for them. You basically try and make sure that you make the offer more attractive for the users who have visited. In conversions, you convert your leads into customers, you give them offers, trial plans, create a sense of urgency, simplify the purchase. That is very important. And I can tell you, coming from the insurance business, simplification is something we strive for, and we are still searching for answers to make things simpler for our users. So how to make the process simple, how to make the purchase simple, not a huge thing. I mean, it's not a, I mean, not make it very complex for the user to, even if he's interested, he might just run out in the middle and say, oh, I cannot make the purchase because it's too complicated. Some examples are, you can give a free trial, a very limited time offer, some additional payment facilities like pay with wallet, let's say a Paytm wallet, in which the person already has an account. He doesn't need to give you specifically his credit card information, so he'll be more comfortable doing that. And then post-purchase, you do certain engagements. You try to retain the customer. You try to upsell and cross-sell to the same customer, increase loyalty. And again, this is by doing incentivizing referrals, simplifying action, maybe creating an ecosystem wherein a repeat purchase becomes a thing for the user, rewarding customers for the loyalties. Let's say if I'm a credit card customer, I use a Citibank credit card. So over a period of time, I'll say, okay, now it's the first anniversary, we'll give you certain bonus points because of your association with it. So that becomes a motivation for me as a user to stay with the same credit card for another month, so for another year, rather than look for a new credit card. So those kind of small things you can do. And again, some examples I put in, like 250 MB free for friend joining. And one example I can share, it's Airtel Airtel broadband has a thing called, they provide 100 GB extra data to you if you are a certain premium user and you stay with the company for 6 to 8 months. So that means, and you pay your bills on time. So the broadband team gives you 100 GB data extra. So never ever a thought will cross your mind that, okay, you need to switch from Airtel to some other service provider in broadband category. So these are some examples that companies do to make sure. And again, these things that I've discussed about the sales funnel is valid for both online and offline and all marketing setups. Yeah, so this is from me as far as this session is concerned. Please feel free to put your questions, and even if you have questions afterwards, you can put your questions after this session as well. What more we have is I'll expect you to, and again, depending upon your business you are in, the company you are in, create a persona for the ideal person who buys your company's products. So just list out 8 to 10 features of a person you think will buy a product. So the key things about the personality or the demographic of that person, just write down. You create a Google Analytics account. You can just go to Google and create a Google Analytics account. Create a Webmaster Tool account for your company. So these are the 3 things I'll expect you to do before our next session. There are certain links that I've shared. You can just go through it. It will help your understanding better. These links are basically about how digital advertising can work for your brand, how your keyword strategy can be critical. So we'll be discussing keyword strategy next. So I think it will be a good read for you just before the session. So in next module, we'll be discussing about SEO, the search engine optimization. In more detail, we'll be discussing about inbound versus outbound traffic. The session will be about keyword planning. So how you can plan your keywords, how you can make sure better keywords are reflected on your website so that your SEO improves. Domain authority, page authority, using MOZ toolbar handout list of keyword research tools in your keyword research plan. So these are the things we'll discuss in our next session. And as I said earlier at the start of the session, that you will receive a survey after this session ends on your registered email IDs. So I request you to please put in your survey about the session, about the content, about me, about the Edureka platform. and this actually goes out a long way in helping us out in improving the content and the overall experience. So thank you so much for joining me today in this session. I really enjoyed it, and I think it was very engaging. Your participation was amazing. You asked some very good questions, and I tried to my best of my abilities to answer those. So I look forward to seeing you in our next session tomorrow. And till then, you can have a very good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.